Hola, Patricia. Hi there. Hi, Barbara. Hello. Hi, 504. Oh, hi. So, I can hear nobody. Can anybody hear me? See.
Hi, Fran.
Hi, Patricia.
So excited.
Well, I'm kind of stressed.
Oh, you're gonna be
No.
Yeah. Oh, Barbara, I like that one. Better than me, that I have just water. Well, to me it's afternoon, so it's not day drinking. Salud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, sorry to intrude here. Can you hear that background noise? It's like clapping.
Oh, it's me typing.
Clapping. We're still doing every day at 8:00 p.m. It's like the homage to the National Healthcare Service. You know, all the nurses and doctors. Everybody at 8:00 they come out in the windows, their balconies, etc., and just they stay like for 5 or 10 minutes just doing that, just to let you know. Okay. All right.
That's pretty cool.
All right, here we go, you guys. We are about to get started. Give me 1 second. All right, everybody, and good morning and buenos dias. I haven't spoken Spanish in 20 years, so sorry, I'm going to butcher it. But welcome everybody to another Friday Lunch and Learn. Today we are going to be learning about Spanish culture. I'd like to welcome my friend Francisco Glaria from the Basque region of Spain. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
So my friend Francisco, I've known him for a very long time, but I've never really gotten to know you as well as I would like. But what I do know about you is that you are really, really involved in the San Fermin festival there. So I thought maybe today, if you want, we could just talk a little bit about San Fermin and just also Spanish culture. And I'd love to know, to start, just what's going on in Spain right now.
Well, right now in Spain, we are beginning with this COVID issue. We're beginning to be more open, so we can walk in the streets. We cannot change regions, or what you would call states. We cannot go from one state to the next one. So, but at least we can move around and we can go for walks, which is pretty good. So we're doing very, very well. 2 days ago, we had 0 deaths, which is the best news ever. We're very proud of that. And well, we're doing little by little. So hopefully by the fall we'll be perfect.
I hope so too. Yeah, that's. I'm looking at the fall as well for all of Europe. Let's cross our fingers. So, do you want to show us a little bit? I've given you the ability to drive now on Zoom. So, if you want to go ahead and show us a little bit, tell us about your festival and what it means to you. That'd be great.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about San Fermin. Let me show you first the most important thing, which is San Fermin. Let me show you. Let me see if I know how to do this. Okay, let me share. Compartir. Okay. So this gentleman over here is San Fermin. Okay. So let's start with history. Pamplona, where I come from, it's a Roman city, like most of Europe. I know, Sarah, you love Roman and Roman history. The thing is that Pamplona was founded the 1st century before Christ when Roman general Pompey, the one that founded Pompeii in Italy, he came over here. He liked it because we were right on the other side of the Pyrenees. We're in a little height. And from here, you get to see the Pyrenees. So it was a very good strategical place for a military reason, okay? The thing is that the name of the town was called Iruña, a Basque word, and it was too difficult, so he changed it to his own name, Pompaelus. Okay, so Pamplona means the city of Pompeii. So years passed, centuries passed, and on the 4th century, a Roman general came to Pamplona. His name was Firmus, and he settled in Pamplona. He was coming from Italy. The thing is that if you do it the normal way, what they would do is go through La Gallia, through France, cross the Pyrenees to come over here. Or the other way would be sail the Mare Nostrum, the Mediterranean, and come to Spain. Well, he took a little detour. He went down all Italy. He went to Ethiopia. Africa came up. And in Ethiopia, he found a beautiful lady, and the couple came to Pamplona. They settled, and they baby him, San Fermin. Okay. Today we call him the Santo Mulato, which is a mulatto. It's a kid that comes from a black and an African person and a white person. Okay, so he's a mulatto saint. The thing is that at this moment is when we have the Roman Empire opens the freedom of religion. It's right after Milan's edict. Milan's edict says that all the religions can be spread in the Roman Empire. Okay? We do not believe anymore in one God, the Caesar. We have many gods. So the news come to Pamplona. A French bishop comes to Christianize, to baptize here in Pamplona. And the Roman general, Firmus, says, okay, you can, because the central government in Rome says that you can Christianize, but I don't like Christianity. I don't like you people. You're very strange. You only believe in one God. Don't like you. So I have to allow you to baptize, but I'm going to make one little condition. The first person baptized in my town, I will cut his head or her head. So please, volunteers. As you can imagine, no volunteers there. I was like, no, ladies first. No, go ahead. No, you first. Nobody wanted to be the one until one person said, okay, it's going to be me. He gets baptized, and he goes to talk to the general and says that it was me, your son, Fermin, the first person baptized in Pamplona. What are you going to do? Are you going to cut my head? The answer of the father was yes. And the father cut the head of the son. So Fermin became a saint because he died for Catholicism. This is what us locals we like to say, but it's a lie. It's the legend, it's the myth. Okay, we know that San Fermin, he comes from his father, his mother is from Ethiopia. He is one of the first people baptized in Pamplona, but he goes to France, to La Gallia, and in Amiens is where he is beheaded. Okay, and in fact he's buried there and the whole thing. But we prefer to say that it was done here because it looks much local. But one thing is tradition, the other thing is history. The reason why in the week of the Rhino of the Bulls we're dressed like this is because we represent the death of San Fermin. The white is the holiness, the sanctity, and the red bandana is like all the blood coming out. It's kind of gory, if you ask me, but that's why we're dressed like this. Okay? So, sorry. The week of the Rhino of the Bulls. Pamplona is a super, super small city. We're only 200,000 people, okay? On July 6th, everybody comes to Pamplona, and for 1 week, we have a huge celebration. We go from 200,000 people to over 1.5 million. So it's really crazy. I mean, really, really, really crazy, cosmopolitan, fun city, okay? Everything starts on July 6th, where there's no running of the bulls, because the running of the bulls is only one part of this beautiful, beautiful week, okay? It's the most well-known. Everybody knows the running of the bulls and all that, but there's so many, many beautiful moments in this week, okay? So this week starts with El Chupinato. El Chupinato, it's everybody gathers in a tiny little square in front of our city hall, okay? And we light a rocket. Let me show you a couple of pictures, a little video about it. Because really it's overwhelming how many people can fit in a tiny little square, okay? So this is how it looks. 12,000 people in a super, super small square. That's our beautiful city hall. It's a building from the 18th century. It's a late Baroque building that I love. Everybody gets in there. Everybody wants to get in there. It's impossible if you're not there. This happens at noon, at 12 o'clock in the morning. And if you are not there by 10:30, it's impossible for you to get in. It's so crazy crowded. It's like crazy. I mean, no social distancing in here. Okay? Like that's why we have, unfortunately, suspended San Fermin this year, okay? Because it's impossible to control all of these people. Everybody, a couple of minutes before San Fermin, everybody were dressed in white, but we don't wear our bandanas. Our bandanas have to go on the wrist or whatever. And 11:55, everybody gets their bandana out, show it to the city because it's about to start the party. And everybody, I mean, everybody, even little kids. And this is what happens. I hope the sound is not too high. Well, as you can see, it's very crowded. It's like crazy, crazy crowded. Just watching that, I got goosebumps. I was like, oh my God, it's like the most beautiful thing. The other day, I was talking with a friend of ours, Ana Piperato. She lives in Siena, where they do the palio, you know, where the horses running.
Yeah.
And we were saying that having such a strong celebrations when they're canceled, people say, oh, they're being canceled, oh, sad thing or whatever. For us, it's like breaking our heart because it's so dear to us. It's so, I've seen it since I was a baby. I remember going there when I was a baby, when there was no people. And it was like, I've seen it all my life and suddenly it's canceled. So it's like, everybody's in total shock. It's a very, very strange thing. So for us, that week, it starts July 6th and it goes all the way to July 14th. A lot of people think it's only a couple of days. It's 9 days of big, big celebrations. That week, it's a beautiful week where, especially today in such a big global world, we welcome back all the people that we love that are working outside. Because I have a brother who lives in Madrid. I see him like quite often, but I'm sure that on July 6th, he is going to be home. I have a friend who lives in London. My brother-in-law lives in Australia. I know on July 6th, everybody's going to be back home. So for us, that moment of beauty, it's great. I mean, it's like everybody's home and I know we welcome people from everywhere, but for us, it's our little heart that's like, oh my God, we love it.
That sounds exactly like the that's exactly the way that people, they do it in Siena. It's the people who live in the periphery or live in different countries. During the Palio, they all come back. So it really sounds like it's a very similar festival in spirit to the Palio.
You've been to the Palio?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you've been everywhere in Italy. So one of the things I love, it's me working as a tour guide. We welcome people from everywhere around the world. And we welcome friends that, let me show you one friend that you know that came last year. Oh, no, look at her. Hi, Lisa. She works with us at the Rick Steve's. She's also a great guy. She lives in Italy. She came last year with a group. It was super fun. This place, Gazteluleku, it's one of these men's societies. What are these? When you said that I'm Basque at the beginning, I was like, yes, but no. Okay. This is a very tricky question, okay? Because if you ask me, as American, are you Basque? I will say yes. If somebody from Spain, knowing that I am from Pamplona, ask me, are you Basque? I would say no. Why? The difference is politics. You're asking me about a culture, and I am culturally Basque. The way I am is super, super Basque way of being. Okay, we are straightforward. We don't know the art of diplomacy. We're very straight, hardworking people. The thing is that this is not what is called Basque country. This is called Navarre. The issue is that the Basque culture started here. So if somebody from Spain asks me, being from Navarre, are you Basque? He's asking me, do you support separatism? Do you support ETA, that terrorist band? So depending on who asks these things, I would say yes or no. So for example, this men's club, Gazteluleku, is one of those Basque traditions that we have. These men's clubs are, at the beginning, one of the things that we're very quiet people, okay? Once in a while, you find people that talks a lot and they become tour guides. That's the only job you have if you talk too much, like me. But normally we're shyer than the rest of Spain. You have to think that Spain is divided in two parts, okay? Spain, how could I explain it? Okay, in the year 711, the Muslims, the Moors, came in Spain, and they settled in Spain for 700 years, since 711 to 1492, okay? When we think about Muslims, people tend to think about Al-Qaeda and ISIS, all the bad people. No, nothing to do with that. We have to think about the most advanced civilization of its time, the more powerful, intellectually powerful, okay? If you have the pleasure to come to Spain and you go to the south of Spain, where you see the beauty of Granada, of Sevilla, of Cordoba, it's perfection, okay? The thing is that here in the north, we have what is called El Camino de Santiago, okay? I don't know if you have heard about it. It's one of the most important Christian pilgrimages that goes all around Europe, comes into Spain, and goes all the way to the westernest city of Europe, okay, to pay tribute to St. James, one of Jesus Christ's apostles. The thing is that, thanks to that, the northern part of Spain was barely touched by that Muslim culture. So from the Camino to the north, we're totally different than from the Camino to the south. Spain is totally different, okay? From the Camino to the south, where we have that beautiful Muslim heritage, people are much more open, much more welcoming. When you think about Spain, you think about the south, you think about the flamenco, that embrace, that beauty, okay? Hi, Jorge. I would not dance flamenco for you.
You guys can't see Jorge is doing his dancing over in the corner of our screen. So.
Well,
So
I'm from the south, so
you're from the south of Spain.
Originally from Malaga.
So you know about flamenco. So the thing is that the people, the culture in the south is very open, okay? Also, it's a huge patriarchy, okay? The Muslim world is much more patriarchal, while the north of Spain were much more matriarchal. The matriarchy in the Basque country is a huge, huge thing, okay? You don't want to mess around with a Basque mama, okay? Mothers have a lot of power in the Basque country. So the thing is that we're super shy, super quiet, women are super powerful. And back then in time, we could only, the two jobs that we had here in the Basque country, it was being a shepherd or being a fisherman. Two jobs that require one thing, going alone and being alone. For many, many months, a year, the men, they were alone in the fields or alone on the boats, men with men, talking men things and small conversations like, yeah, good. That was it. And suddenly you come home to a powerful, super powerful woman. And how do you relate to that strong, powerful girl? So men here are very quiet at home. So we created these safe places, the men's clubs, where only men could come. Women could not come in. Don't think there were babes, chicks, honeys. No. There was nothing like that. It was just doing what we like to do, which is cook, drink, eat, play cards. That's it. That's all there is in those places. So today, obviously, we have modernized and we allow women in our societies. We allow girls, not as members, but you girls are welcome. There's only one condition. Girls cannot come in the kitchen. Girls cannot cook. Okay, so you girls come in the place. Well, what we really do in these places is the guys will get together and we say, okay, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's go to the market. Let's buy whatever we're going to cook. Let's have a couple of tapas outside. We go to the place. We start drinking. We start cooking. Girls get together and you do whatever you want to do. And lunchtime, you come to the place. We serve you. You're not allowed in the kitchen. We'll get you the wine. We'll get you the food. We'll get you absolutely everything you need. Everybody's very happy. And that's it. So now it's a lot of fun. Let's face it, we're guys, we don't clean after ourselves. We hire people to clean after us, okay? It's kind of strange, but that's what we are. So it works for everybody. So these places, all of these societies are super fun, super real. It's like one of our big identities, okay? If you go to San Sebastian, if you go to Bilbao, if you come to Pamplona, they're private clubs and you have to be invited. You cannot come in and walk in. It's not a restaurant, okay? And I love going with mixed groups, men, women, because women sit down and, hey, I want a beer. I want this, I want that. And the guys, they totally feel free to go in the kitchen, come in, come out. It's super fun, okay? So Sarah, I'm waiting for you with your kids. The kids will be with me in the kitchen. We'll treat you like
you know it. I'm there, man. If I don't have to cook, yeah. if I can sit there and let people bring me drinks and food and play cards, sweet.
You are for it. It's super fun. I love it. And in fact, that is one of the ways we have learned how to cook. Okay, in the Basque Country, we have a lot of super well-known, renowned chefs like Juan Maria Arzac, Berasategui, a lot of 3 Michelin-star restaurants. And all of them, most of them, they started learning how to cook in these places. Because, okay, let's face it. If I go with your kids and with a couple of other guys, and your son makes the best salad today, next week, I'm going to practice at home. I'm like, Mama, teach me something better because I have to improve what he made. And that's how you go learning. Okay? So we're super, we all love cooking over here. It's a huge thing, the food issue in the Basque Country.
So then basically what you're saying at these men's clubs, then the men kind of compete to be the better cooks?
Well, compete. Yes, of course.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's competition. It's pure competition. It's like, I'm better than you. Anyway, so those are all of these beautiful sociedades gastronomical societies, okay, that here we all love big time. This one, Gazteluleku, the one I went with Lisa, what we're drinking is a lemon sorbet that it's a hidden recipe. Nobody knows what's in it. We know it's lemon ice cream and champagne. And once they forgot to close the door, and I saw them putting a little bit of Cointreau into it. Oh my God, that's so good. It's like incredibly good. Dangerous though. Okay, so let's go back to San Fermin. Let's go back to the running of the bulls, which is what we're here for, to talk a little bit about what we do over here. This is what kind of happened. So every day, from July 7th, July 14th, 8 o'clock in the morning, we free 6 bulls in the streets of Pamplona. Okay. First, you don't have to sign in. Everybody can run. Okay. There are a few rules that you have to follow. The first one, you should be 18. when I mean should, means that nobody is going to ask you for an ID. So if you look 18 enough, it's going to be okay. Okay. The second rule, you should not be drunk. Tipsy is okay. Okay, but drunk, no. Third rule, you have to wear tennis shoes. Okay. Here we have seen people try to do the rollerblading of the bulls, the skateboarding of the bulls, the high heeling of the bulls. Nothing. Tennis shoes, that's all you need. And the last and most important thing, do not run with a telephone. Okay. This is causing more accidents than any other thing in the world. I mean, you cannot imagine how many people run like this. It's like, you're taking selfies with a bull. Why? It's like, if you're not very clever, please don't show it to the world. This is, and you get a 600 euro ticket if the police sees you with this. Okay, so it's a huge, huge thing. And to me, to tell you the truth, I think it's not enough. It should be more. Because if I'm taking a selfie with the bull, I'm making myself in trouble, but I'm also making the rest of the people in trouble. So I think we should get a little bit more serious with all of that. So those are the only rules. You show up there around 7:15, and we cannot control how many people runs because you don't have to sign in. We don't have to sign in. I hope you don't get offended, Americans. You don't have to sign in because of you guys. Because we were saying, okay, how do we control all of this? How do we control the access of so many people coming to run with the bulls? Well, let's make them sign in so we can control. And the lawyers of the city said, if you have to sign in, maybe people will sue you if they get an accident. So they said, American people, you are very used to sue and liabilities and all these things, that our lawyers, the city lawyers, decided not to make anybody sign. So if you get injured in the running of the bulls, you're going to be helped. I mean, we have all the doctors, everything is ready for nothing to happen. And they will ask you for a credit card that if you don't have one at that moment, we'll pay for it. Okay, so really, you don't, I mean, I shouldn't say it in public because everybody will be like, woohoo, let's do it. Sometimes they charge you, but most of the times they don't, right? Which is pretty cool. I mean, for us, you have to think that we want everybody to come to our town, have the time of their lifetime. And if they got a couple of stitches, a couple of bruises, okay. You know, it's not a big deal. They're going to post it on Instagram. Oh, I got this from the Run of the Bulls. Okay, fun. We don't want to rip off people or things like
what.
Yeah.
So from what I understand about the running of the bulls, I haven't been to Spain in a number of years, but when I was there last, it was August, and there were actually a number of towns who did sort of a similar kind of thing, but on a much smaller scale. They weren't actually bulls, they were like cows. And everybody was kind of chasing them and swatting them with newspapers. These were little tiny towns that are not famous, obviously. But from what I understand, isn't it that like every day of the festival, they turn up the heat with the aggressiveness of the animals so that people who have no experience, for example, can go the first day and they probably won't be hurt and they can get the thrill of having been out in the streets. Is that kind of how it works, or am I incorrect?
I think you're incorrect. Okay, so what happens? First of all, what is the running of the bulls? The running of the bulls, okay, we're Spanish and we have bullfights, okay? So we need to get the bulls inside of the arena, okay? So the running of the bulls is getting the bulls from point A to point B. That's all it is. Long time ago, in all the cities in Spain, the bulls would have to run or walk in the streets from the pens, the corrals, all the way to the bull ring. Things that in Pamplona, we have preserved that tradition of having the bulls running on the streets, and we have allowed people to run with the bulls. Okay, so that's what the running of the bulls is all about. So the thing is that the bulls that will be bullfighted that afternoon are the bulls that run in the morning. Okay, so in the city of Pamplona, the tradition says that the bulls have to be 5 years old. Right? Well, we don't say 5 years old, we say that they have had to have eaten the grass of 5 springs, which is pretty much the same, okay? And they have to weigh minimum half a ton. If they do not weigh half a ton, if they're 1 kilo down half a ton, they will not run and they will not be bullfighted in Pamplona. So they're huge, huge animals, okay? There's only one day that we know what breed of bull we're gonna have, especially that one, and it's on Sunday. Sunday, we have Miura. Miura are, if normally they're half a ton, like 2 kilos over half a ton, 3 kilos, these ones are gonna be 100 kilos over half a ton. Why do we do this on Sunday? We put the biggest ones on Sunday because it's more crowded, okay? Not because we want more gore people. The thing is that when you have a huge 600 kilogram bull, super muscular, with horns like this big, when they run looking in front. They don't get full. So although they're bigger, they walk very straight. The thing is that in the weekdays, we put the smaller bulls, which normally are much more, they run moving their horns, moving their heads, so they gore more people. Okay? So the only day we know what bulls we're gonna have is on Sunday. Okay? So it's the only difference. The problem on Sundays is that it's super crowded. And well, the joke in town is that the last day of the running of the bulls is July 14th, okay, which is national holiday in France. You have to think that Pamplona, we are 50 minutes driving away from France. So on July 14th, it's Bastille Day, all south of France comes here to run with the bulls, okay? The relationship between Spain and France, maybe it's not one, maybe. And with the joke in town is if somebody's gored on the 14th, just leave it there. That's probably a French, so a big deal. I didn't say that, okay? We love French. We love French. Yeah, we do. So the running of the bulls, it's super short. It's half a mile. It's 800 meters, sorry, half a mile. And we do it in 3 minutes. So it goes really fast. Okay, it goes really, really fast. I'm gonna put you a little video, but if you have questions, please stop me anytime, okay? Because that's what we're here for. So, but let me show you. I love this video, although it's in vertical, but it's slow motion, so you get to see how big the bulls are. So it's, to me, it's like crazy.
It makes me that it's almost all young men.
Well, back then in time, it was only men allowed, especially during Franco dictatorship. Well, if you don't know, Spain, we had a civil war, started in 1936, and it lasted for 3 years, from 1936 until 1939. In 1939, General Franco made a coup d'etat, and he became our president, our dictator, and he lasted for 40 years. He died in 1975, okay? It was a very strong, very horrible dictatorship. By the way, Franco is still dead. That's what they said at Saturday Night Live 40 years ago. So Franco died, and during those 40 years of dictatorship, women were not allowed to run or do nothing, barely, okay? And now, especially after the 1980s, we started having tourism coming to Pamplona, and female tourists started running. And then local girls said, well, if the tourists are doing it, why don't we do it? So now we have local girls, foreign girls running with the bulls. We have between a 7 and 8% of female runners. That's why women live longer than men. Let's put it that way. You are wiser. It's like, why do you run in front of a bull? I don't know. It's fun. Let's do it.
So one of the things I wanted to just kind of ask you about is that, so the running of the bulls, I think a lot of people think that that is just an event that happens, that the event itself, the running of the bulls, is the thing. But in Spain, that's not really true, is it? I mean, that the running of the bulls is simply a part of the San Fermin fiesta. And
Yes.
These fiestas, their local saint fiestas, take place all over Spain. And so the running of the bulls is not the only not weird, I mean, but it's the only.
Yeah, you can say weird.
Okay, it's the only weird. It's not the only weird tradition that the Spanish have. For example, you're gonna love this, Fran. I've never told you this. When I got married in 1998, you know what I did for my honeymoon? I didn't want to go to Hawaii. I didn't want to go to Mexico and drink margaritas. I wanted to go to La Tomatina. Do you know La Tomatina?
Yeah, in Valencia.
Yes. This is what I wanted to do for my honeymoon, and this is what we did. We went to Spain. We spent a month
Sarah, you went to La Tomatina.
I did, yeah, I did. 1998. That was my honeymoon. I wanted to do La Tomatina. So those of you who don't know what La Tomatina is, it's the largest tomato fight in the world. And what I did was, we went and we stayed in a little hotel outside of Buñol, this tiny, tiny little town. And then we went to their fiesta. And this is where I learned the idea that the running of the bulls is a part of a larger fiesta season in Spain. So this was their running of the bulls, this little town. They would bring in these big semis full of tomatoes and dump them on you. And then they would, you would throw them. And I'm 6'2", so of course I was a great target. So I was finding tomato seeds in my ears 2 weeks later.
Yeah. You could plant out of your everywhere. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's just an aside about my experience with Spanish fiestas, is that I spent the entire month of August of 1998 driving around, visiting we didn't go to Pamplona, but visiting different places. And then that was the whole intention of my whole honeymoon, was I wanted to go to La Tomatina.
That's so much fun. Well, you're right. We have very weird traditions around here. Yeah. This is that being since 1492 a Catholic country, we have in every single city, we have saints. Okay. So for example, just imagine, I live in the neighborhood of San Juan, San John. The main patron of my city is San Saturnino, the guy who baptized San Fermin. The main patrons, because we have two, of the state are San Fermin and San Francis Xavier. The main patron saint of Spain is San James. So we have say a name, it's a saint, a Spanish saint. I mean, we have Santa Barbara, we have, no, not Cory, Santa Monique, yeah, Santa Monica, yes. Santa Susana, yes, we do. Santa Patricia, we have them all. So yeah, we do have every religion here is it was a huge thing, and the traditions that we have and we follow, they come from that part, okay, that time. We're still a very Catholic country. Most of us, we have been brought up Catholics. Most of us go to church in weddings, communions, and funerals. That's pretty much all we go. Christmas Day, that's it. In fact, I think in the United States, you guys go much more to church than we do. Okay. We have beautiful cathedrals, but many times they're empty, unfortunately. So traditions here, they come huge from long time ago. Okay? Things that we were talking about food before. Something as Spanish as the Spanish ham. I don't know if you have tried Spanish ham. Sarah, close your ears for 1 second. Okay. Italians, they say prosciutto is good. Spanish ham is much better. Okay.
Fighting words, Fran. You and I, next time you're here in Seattle, we're going to have a prosciutto taste off, because prosciutto the San Daniele, I don't know. I don't know if I've had any of the conquistas in Spain, but I think that I'm going to have to come to Spain now, and you're going to have to prove it to me.
There we go. Come to Spain. So why do we eat so much ham? It's very easy if you go back to history. Okay, Muslims do not eat ham. So the Catholic kings in the 15th century, they supported pig farms, and it's super good. But if you're offered a piece of ham and you don't take it, what are you? A Muslim.
Rude.
It was super back then. We have to think with brain of Holy Inquisition. Okay, it was a super hard thing. You have to think that Spain, the 15th century, when we were like the big emperors and the huge thing, the Catholic kings, they expelled Muslims and Jews. Okay, they were the two religions that they were expelled. Two religions that they lived in Spain in perfect harmony for 700 years. If you go to the center of Spain, to a beautiful city called Toledo, in Toledo, you're going to find a synagogue, a cathedral, and a mosque. Door to door, the three religions. Why do we have to hate each other? We shouldn't. We can live together. I don't care what religion anybody is in the world. We all want the same, peace and love. That's what we need. And today, with all the crazy things that are going on in the United States, what do we want? What do we need? Peace, love. We need to, everybody's the same. I don't care your religion. I don't care your skin color. I don't care your nationality. I don't care your sexual orientation. I can care less about anything. Back then, in Toledo, they knew how to work that well. That religion is just you believe in something. And what's the deal? Well, the Catholic kings, they changed that and say, no, Muslims are bad. Jews are bad. So it was a huge thing. There's a big, big change in the culture. Another thing that Catholics did, and a lot of us, we don't realize, is in Spain, our legal name, most of us, we do not have a middle name. I do. My name is Francis Xavier because of the Saint Francis Xavier. But our legal name, we have two last names. And the women never, never, never lose their last name. Why? For the Jewish community. Here, the Sephardic community, the Jewish community in Spain, the tradition is that women are the ones who transmit Judaism to their kids. So if I know, if I'm an inquisitor, that's how you say, inquisitor, if I know your second last name, which is legal now, I'm going to know if you're Jewish or not. So those little things that are like, why do you have two last names? Today, it's perfect because we don't do that with religion. It's perfect for us because that way we can trace our family trees super easy to the 13th century. It's super, super easy. But back then, you have to think it from a inquisitor's point of view. Okay, so Spain, we're very complex, and the greatness of Spain is that we have come out of all of that to be one of the freest countries in the world, that we accept absolutely everybody and everybody is welcome here. Right? So we're very, very happy and very proud of that. But having all of that weight in our heritage is a huge, huge thing. I don't know where all of this is coming from.
Well, what I'm thinking about when you're discussing this is that you know that I've spent a lot of time in Sicily, and that's sort of my area of expertise. But Sicily is heavily influenced by Spanish culture, and a lot of festas, as we say, that are well known for being Sicilian, actually come from more of a Spanish tradition. Because the Spanish not colonized, but they subjugated the island for about 400 years. So a lot of the things that we think of as being Sicilian traditions actually come from Spain. So Spain has had a huge influence even within Europe. I know people think, well, South America, North America, Central America, that's where the Spaniards have had the most influence, but actually even closer to home. And also with the whole idea of multiculturalism, because, you know, Spain and Sicily share a really specific history, and that is that they were the frontiers for the Arab invasions of the 8th, 9th, and 10th centuries. So there is a lot that they share, I think, and multiculturalism is something that is not a new concept to the Spanish and to the Sicilians, I think.
Well, the thing is that Sicily it's super well located in the Mediterranean. So you have to think that all the trading, all the important things that came from there, Sicily would be perfect. And what about Spain? Spain, we have Gibraltar. Gibraltar, it is the exit to the Atlantic Ocean. And from there, you can go to America. Okay, now we take a plane and that was it. Back then it was by boat. So if you control, why do you think Gibraltar is not Spanish? It's British. They control the entrance to the Mediterranean. All the boats that cross the Mediterranean, they have to come into the Mediterranean, they're controlled by the Brits. Isn't that a clever thing? Why don't they want to let it go? Of course they don't want to let it go, because they control all the commerce in the Mediterranean. So Sicily and Spain were super linked. And when we were the huge kingdom in Spain, we needed to have all of these ports around the world. Okay? When we talk about, everybody says, who circumnavigated the world the first? Everybody tends to say Magellan. Well, Magellan died on the way. It was a Basque sailor, Juan Sebastián Elcano, who finished the route around the world. And everybody said, he just went around the world. No, he did not. He's not just going around the world. What he did is he connected Spanish ports all around the world. He made a commercial route all around the world. That's the importance of what he did. It's not just going around the world. It's a huge, huge important thing.
Yeah, the Spanish culture, I think, has echoes in American culture, in all kinds of European cultures. I mean, with the trade, with all of that, I think that we don't even recognize that sometimes. And I think I've always considered that the reason a lot of people who are American like to go to Europe is because when we get there, we find, oh, well, I might not be of Spanish descent in any way, but my culture that I live in, American culture, is so steeped in Spanish traditions more than we think. You know, it's with the trade and with some attitude. So one thing I did want to get back to, though, is that I think a lot of people look at the running of the bulls and bullfighting, and they kind of wonder about how does that fit in with modern ethics of animal treatment? What are your feelings about that?
Sorry, it just got down the line. I didn't hear the question. Okay.
Well, I mean, this is also, these are these questions that are hard to answer, because the question I get when I'm in Venice is, how is this safe when there's no railings along the canals? You know, somebody could easily, fall into the canal, and it's like, oh, come on, because this is the way it is, So I don't know. What are your feelings about that?
Okay. What are my feelings? Personally, I love bullfighting. Okay, it's one of the things that I love. Spain today, I would say we are 60% of people who hate bullfighting 100%, 30% that loves it, and a 10% that I don't even know what's that. The next generation, I will be thinking it was going to be a 90% hates it, 10% kind of likes it. Okay, so let me tell you about bullfighting that I love so much. Where all of this comes from? Bullfighting it's a Roman thing. Okay, I don't know if you have been to Rome. If you go to the Roman Colosseum, I mean, I know you, Lisa. Yes, you have 100,000 million times. If you go to the Colosseum, you have to think that the Romans would free lions and tigers to the Christians. Okay? Here in Iberia, the Spanish Peninsula, they would free them bulls at the Roman Colosseums. Okay, so the beginning of bullfighting was trying to get the Christians out of the bull. Okay, so try to survive the bull. And in all the Mediterranean, for us, the bull is a sacred animal. Okay, it's a holy animal. It's represented 100,000 times. Okay, we have the Minotaur. Zeus transforms himself as a bull to kidnap Europe. So in all of the mythology, always the bull is a powerful, strong animal. Okay, so here in Spain, the bullfighting, everybody thinks that the bullfighter is the bad guy. in the bull ring, and he's not. Okay. The thing is that for this is a Roman thing, and if you go to a bull ring, it's a Roman Colosseum. Okay, it's circle. The acoustics are exactly the same, and as this is a Roman thing, somebody is going to die. Who's going to die? In this case, it's going to be the bull. But the bull is going to have one chance to survive. If the bull proves to the world that it's strong and powerful and fearless, the bull will come out alive out of the ring. And the bullfighter, what he has to do is has to make that animal, uplift the animal and make him look strong, powerful, and everything. Okay? So the bullfighter that everybody hates is the only person I know who risks his life to save the life of an animal. Okay, so the bullfighter, everything is very settled. Okay, it's not an ongoing thing. In the moment the bull touches the arena, there's a timer, and the bull has to be out of the ring in less than 25 minutes, dead or alive. Okay. The bullfighter will decide nothing. Again, this is a Roman Colosseum. So we have a president, the Roman general, who will decide if it's up or down. Okay, that is too Roman. We do it much better. We can do it with a bandana, a white bandana, or not white bandana. Okay? That's pretty much the same. So when the bull touches the arena for the first time, the bullfighter will welcome the bull with a pink cape that you saw, and that is going to be the beginning of a relationship. Okay, the bullfighter will bullfight the bull on the right, on the left, high, low, and he will learn all the things that the bull does wrong, all the weaknesses of the bull, not to show them, but to hide them. That's the job of the bullfighter. The bullfighter has to make the bull look strong, okay, look powerful. Once he knows all of that, the president will say, get out. He goes out, and then the picador comes in. The picador is the bad guy in the movie. It's the guy on top of the horse, and it's the first time the bull is going to feel pain. Depending on how the bull reacts to that, if it's, you hit me and you want to hit me, you want how many more? If it's a strong bull, it will be one for the bull. Then the picador will go again, and the banderillas will come. The banderillas are two sticks that they go about this deep in the skin of the bull. And once again, the bull will have to show how he reacts to that, to fear, to pain, to stress. Then everybody out, and the bullfighter will come in again on his own with a small red cape. That is the most intense moment. When the bullfighter comes in that moment, is the moment where the bullfighter has to do his job. And if you see, when they work together, they become one person, and it's a dance. It's beauty. I know that the blood, the sweat, it's super strong, and you can be gored about it. But if you see the beauty, how two wild animals, a bull and a human, can connect that close, when that happens, I swear, heaven opens, angels come down crying. It's incredible, okay? And if that happens, the president will say, yes. And the bull will come alive out of the ring. That bull will be on the news around Spain. It will be like a huge, huge thing. And that bull is going to have a wonderful life. We want to have a lot of babies out of that bull. Okay.
This is so interesting, Fran, because I have never actually thought about that, but you are 100% right. This is the descendant of gladiator fights. This is, everything you've described to me is exactly the stories I tell my tour groups when I'm talking about, Roman battles and Roman gladiator fights and things like that. This is the same thing. And really, when you go back even to the ancient Greeks, I think about in Sicily, I take people to see an ancient theater there. The Greeks, they sacrificed bulls at altars, and then they barbecued them and they gave the meat away. The Romans had these animal fights, and the animals, when they died, they didn't die in vain. They actually fed the people, because that was sort of a propaganda move by the emperors to feed them. So this all feels like this is so connected to something that's extremely old. I mean, I'm talking 3,000 years of tradition, really, when you think about it. I mean, am I wrong, or is that the? Yeah, so it is
exactly that. I mean, that is why it's so embodied in our DNA. It's so much into us. Okay? And the thing is that only 5% of the times it goes right. 95% it goes down. And when the president says the bull has to die, to me, it's when the drama of the bullfighting comes, because the bullfighter is going to have a couple of minutes to say goodbye to his friend. They have become one soul. And now the bullfighter is going to tell him, I'm sorry, I pretended to be God. I tried to help you be alive. I'm not half as good as you are. Don't be afraid, my friend. You're going to die very fast. And if a bullfighter is a good bullfighter, the bull will die very fast. And as you said, the meat is not spared. We don't throw the food away. Here in Pamplona, our bull ring is a non-profit bull ring. All the money that is raised there goes for charity. And by tradition, 3 bulls go for charity and 3 bulls go for sale. We eat it. It's super, super good meat. So we still do that.
That is a really interesting aspect I don't think most people have known about. So I know that this is a bit of a controversial topic, and some people, think, oh, that's bullfighting is 100% wrong. But I think it's very interesting to hear more. Like, thank you for giving us your cultural background, because it is interesting to know. And I just remember one of my most powerful memories of being in Spain was not being at a bullfight, but I was sitting in the hotel lobby in Sevilla, and there was a bullfight on TV, and there was a woman who was clearly at least 90 who was watching it. And this woman got up and started screaming at the TV and throwing things and raising her arms. And she was like, it was like she was in the stands with them. And I just watched that and I thought, okay, as a person who's kind of more on the animal rights end of the scale, I'm not going to go to a bullfight. That's terrible. But watching this woman and watching how passionate she was and how she was just shaking her fists, and it was a television, but it was, that was one of those moments that you kind of go, okay, this isn't my culture. I have no right to judge. This is a part of their thing, and this is something they feel really strongly about, and that's kind of beautiful to see that passion. So I don't know. I think it's good to have an objective look at why people do these things and the historical reasons for it. But boy, it's like with you at the running of the bulls, your passion is so inspiring.
Well, I've been brought up with bulls all my life. I mean, I've seen the Rhino. My grandmother was born in what is called Dead Man's Corner. My mother was born physically there because my grandmother didn't have time to go to the hospital. So I've seen bulls riding in the streets all my life. I've seen bullfights all my life. So for me, I'm so used to it. And now I have 3 kids. Okay, as we were talking. My oldest daughter, she's 18. She hates bullfighting. She hates bullfighting. She hates me if I talk about bullfighting. The middle one, he's 16. Oh, I don't care. It's a boy. The little kid, he's 13 years old. And when he was 5, he said, Dad, I know what's my gift for Santa. It has to be a bull. What? I want a bull and I want a red cape. And he got a bull and a red cape. And I swear I've never made him watch a bullfight. I don't know where he got it. And 2 years ago, he asked my mom, Grandma, I know my birthday present. I want to go with you to a bullfight. So 2 years ago, he went to a bullfight with Grandma. My mother was the happiest woman in the world. And I got them tickets all the way up, the higher, so he couldn't see the blood. And he said, Dad, I'm ready to see a little closer. So last year, I got them tickets front row. He was like, oh, it was perfect. I have a good friend from the United States who loves bullfighting. He said a sentence I will never forget. He said that bullfighting, it's pretty much like opera. If you go to an opera, you can love it or hate it. Bullfighting, if you go to watch it, You will love it or hate it. He said, there's only one difference. You can learn how to love opera. You will never learn how to love bullfighting. I think that's a beautiful way of showing it, to describe it, how beautiful bullfighting is. Like opera, it's passion, it's a strength. You love it, you hate it. You don't need to be in the middle, because there's no middle part. But if you don't like it, you will never love it.
Well, I think that it's always interesting to understand what the underpinnings of it are. So I really appreciate all of your great information today, Francisco. This has been fantastic. I'm just curious if anybody who is with us today on the Zoom call, if you guys have any questions or you'd like to chat with Francisco. Anybody have any questions for him? Oh, yeah, the question Barbara had here is people are still fed on the bull meat, right? So you did address that people do still eat that.
We eat that. It's a very, very good meat. You cannot make a steak out of it, okay? So we boil it. It's pretty much like bœuf bourguignon. We do bull bourguignon. We boil it with wine. Super good. It boils for hours and hours and hours.
Excellent. Jorge, did you want to chime in here?
Yes, thank you. I have a question here for Francisco. Francisco, have you ever run in the running of the bulls, and are you still doing it? And if you are, why are you still doing it? And if you're not, why you're not doing it?
Okay, if my mom was present, I would say, no, I have never run with the bulls. But if you're local, I have seen my father and my uncles running with the bulls all their life. So we're 5 brothers. I am the second one. And my older brother, he used to run. And when I'm 6'1", so I've always been 6'1". I've always been tall. Since I was born, I was this height. So when I was 15, I looked old enough, and I was already losing hair, so I was old enough. So I promised myself, okay, I'm gonna run one day, and that's it. That's going to be one check out of the box. So that first morning when I went to run, something happened, because when we say that you run with the bulls, we say that you run in front of the bulls. Okay, it's not the same running in front by the bull or behind the bull. Right? The important thing is to run in front, and to run in front, we say that you need to feel the breath of the bull on your pants. That's how close you have to run. Okay, so it's super close. And that first day, I ran in front of the bull. I felt the breath of the bull on my pants. I think it was the breath of the bull. Maybe I did something on myself, but you don't need to know that one. Okay. Okay, it was the breath, because I say so. So that was going to be it. I was going to run only once. The next morning, I was in bed. No, I'm not going to. Yes, I'm going. Okay, let's go. So I ran, and I didn't even see the bulls the second day. The third bull, I did not see the bulls. The fourth day, I ran again with the bull. So I started running when I was, I think it was 16, and I ran every single day during that year, and the next year, and the next year, and the next year, and the next, and next, the next, until something horrible happened.
That's not horrible.
I'm saying this because I know she's not around. No. I always say that I stopped running because I got married to a Basque mama that you don't mess around with, but it's not true. When we were married the first year, I ran as well. The second year after our marriage, the first day I was running, I was warming up, I was doing my little thing before the run. And suddenly I was like, I can't breathe. My hands were shaking. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, panic attack, something that had never, ever happened before. And I just jumped over the barricade and said, I'm not running again. My wife was pregnant. So I stopped running thanks to my daughter, another Basque mama, who stopped me from running. Every day I'm in balconies running, with tourists, showing them. And every morning I'm like, I want to go down. No, you're a father of 3. Your wife's gonna kill you. I would love to run, but not anymore. I'm almost 50 and No. So it's great. We show every day how to run with the bulls. So yes, Jorge. I ran long time ago, 18 years ago. I quit running, and I'm happy that I'm not running anymore.
So Monique has a question. What is the weather like during San Fermin? How hot is it?
Here it's in the northern part of Spain, and it can get hot. We can go 70 more or less, but here we are very okay. So imagine this is Spain, okay? Madrid, it's here. Barcelona, it's here. Pamplona, it's here. These are the Pyrenees. This is France, okay? Here is what is called the Gulf of Biscay. So here we have the Pyrenees and the Gulf of Biscay, the wind coming from the Atlantic Ocean. So here, although the day can be 70 degrees, at night, the breeze from the ocean comes. We're like an hour away from the ocean, okay, driving, heats in the Pyrenees and freshes up the air. So at night, you always need a sweater.
Oh.
People from Pamplona, people in the rest of Spain, they make fun of us because we don't care if we go to Andalusia, which is 100 degrees. If you're from Pamplona, you wear a little sweater over your shoulders. I mean, the joke in town is, how do you spot a local from Pamplona in a nudist beach has a sweater on the shoulders? Because we always wear a sweater.
I had no idea. And when I've been to Spain, it's always been summertime and it's been roasting hot. So I guess I need to go to the Basque. Keep
Yeah, the Basque Country, we can have hot days, but 3 days, by the fourth day, one of the storms comes from the ocean and cools down the temperature, and it's pretty cool. So,
well, that's great. Thank you so much, Francisco, for all of this wonderful information. This hour has flown by so fast. I can't even believe it. So I'd love to have you back another time to discuss tapas or something else wonderful in Spain. So thank you.
We will.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody.
It's been great talking to you.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for joining me for another Lunch and Learn here on Adventures with Sarah. And on Monday, my friend Jorge, who is on this call with us, is going to be having Monday coffee chat with me. He'll probably be having churros and chocolate, I bet, rather than the coffee. But I'll have to make some churros in anticipation of our chat on Monday. So it's going to be a Spanish week. So we'll be talking again. That's Monday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So I will see you guys back here. Thanks again so much, Francisco. And hopefully we'll get to talk to you again here soon. So, ciao.
It's been a great pleasure, everybody.
Gracias.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great weekend.
You too.
See you.
Adiós, chicos.
Hasta luego.